Let me just present an idea as in this last 10 minutes, and again, use this as sort of a call to action or an invitation to action. So can we look at sidewalks as a starting point where, as we've heard from this whole process, it's an evolutionary learning process to get to achieve our wildest goals in terms of decarbonizing concrete. And it has to really start somewhere. And I sort of put forth that sidewalk and curb projects are great things for local governments to take on. And why is that? Again, I think I consider it sort of a gateway to low embodied carbon concrete for a number of different reasons. One is it's a universal form of infrastructure that all local, counties, towns and cities know about and they handle. So this is not some exotic, complex type of project. It's complex in ways that Morgan had mentioned, but from a construction project standpoint, it's relatively low on the ladder of complexity. Simplicity in that regard, but it's also, they're frequent. They happen a lot. They happen every 5 to 7 years. It's almost like a flow of projects that you can sort of bank on any geography. There's going to be sidewalk projects that are happening. They also they're sort of bite size, again, to rob the cookie metaphor, but it allows you to dabble on something that could be relatively small. It doesn't even need to be as large. Even a portion of the project that Mayor Armacost just talked about, you could do different things with different stretches of sidewalks. And it's low risk. If you worry, every engineer worries about, I don't want this to fall on someone's head. That's understandable. And that's what we appreciate their expertise for. Concrete, for sidewalks, there can be errors and things can not go optimally. And not that there's no risks to public safety, but it's quite low risk in that regard compared to other types of projects. And again, it allows you to sort of start simple. It was something that we can do frequently and then learn really quickly. So rather than starting with the wedding cake, you can sort of work your way up to that, and sidewalks are a good place to start. And then the other really, really key thing here that Matt, Professor Adams, has really driven home for me, and it came out in his presentation, is that a lot of what you learn through doing a sidewalk project, those ingredients and processes that you familiarize yourself with and you raise the overall level of awareness around, you can do that with a sidewalk, and that can translate to more complicated projects, your wedding cake type of projects down the line. And that's really where we are right now, is to try to move the needle in terms of learning and comfort. And we're here actually able to follow the lead of a real champion, a real pioneer in this area. The city of Portland, Oregon has adopted its own low carbon concrete program for the city for procurement. But what they did recently, just last month, they published the results of a pilot they did where they also thought it was wise to start with sidewalks, to really start to do some experiments with that. And you can find this on the LECWork website, actually, under Take Action. But they, for the same reason, they started with sidewalks. It just offers an opportunity for learning, and you can do them and you can test, and it creates a good sample. But what I'm interested in is what Mayor Armacost really sort of inspired the idea was they're very conducive to collective action because everybody does them, right? And they happen frequently. And it can become a point of focus for learning and action in ways that I don't want to get in the way of anybody taking on more ambitious projects as soon as possible. But in terms of a way of going up the on-ramp, developing comfort level and expertise, sidewalks can be something that we all kind of do together or sort of think through or share information about. And that was really one of the reasons what inspired this site that we launched. Here you'll be able to go. There's some great resources that you can read, some summaries of kinds of actions that you can take in addition to the Hastings resolution is actually linked there, some information on some state policies that we're pursuing. But anyone, anywhere could actually benefit from that. And they can also join our forum. And I think what could happen in addition to the resources that we can continuously share about new sidewalk projects and concrete projects, one of the things that me and Professor Adams and some others are working on are taking his presentation and developing it into an interactive resource where folks can come, click on, learn about different solutions, find out if they're compatible with each other, and share that with their contractors and with their local concrete providers. But the forum in particular would allow folks that say, oh, you know what, we have a sidewalk project. I want to ask questions. Our forum will not only have Matt Adams on the phone, it'll have many other experts in academia, but practitioners in the concrete world. And then you can share your ideas and your progress and even what you did, what your mix was, and that can benefit other folks. And by doing that, we can also help connect folks with other stakeholders that are in the exact same area. So there is the possibility for that kind of geographically collaborative effort. And then, of course, on the forum, we'll be discussing a range of other different actions that could be taken at the local level, including something that we just touched on, which is very exciting, is the building codes innovation. There's some really interesting stuff that's happening in California, as well as in Hastings and other places. So please do go ahead and sign up. Now, as you come in, we'll respond to you by email and then let you in. So there's no hurry. Within the next 24 hours, we can admit you to the forum, and then just ask away, and we'll let it evolve from there. We'll see what kind of questions people have and what kind of collective knowledge we can share. But I bet you through this type of community, we'll be able to accelerate a lot of progress on the local level. So with that, I think we're just at a time, right in time. But I want to thank everybody. And again, I want to thank Mayor Hastings and her team for their leadership. I want to thank Professor Matthew Adams, not only for his presentation, but his continuous wisdom and expertise that he is infusing into OpenAir's work, which you all can benefit from as well. And I want to thank everybody for attending out there, for tuning in. And really, more importantly, I look forward to collaborating and working with all of you. So thank you so much.